Geoffrey Thomas is Editor-in-Chief and Managing Director of AirlineRatings.com. He joins me now via Skype from Perth, Australia. So good to have you with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you surprised that they found this, the door, and so soon in someone's backyard?
Well, not really surprised, because they had the exact location when the door came off, and put an alert out to all the residents in that particular area. And so I guess that it started a bit of a treasure hunt, if you like, with folks checking their backyards. Luckily, the door didn't impact on a home or impact on a person or a car. So it's found a little home for itself in someone's back garden. So that's good news.
That is definitely good news indeed. What will investigators now be looking for when they examine the door plug?
Well, it's a critical piece of evidence. Of course, they've got the fuselage of the aircraft where the door came from, and they can look at stress marks or damage there. But the door itself will carry telltale signs of why it's separated from the aircraft. It's not. This is unfortunately an incredibly rare event, but the door should hold the clues to what caused this accident to Alaska Airlines.
Mm-hmm. What do you think exactly it could tell them about what happened?
I think that they will find it's a production problem from where the fuselage is manufactured in Spirit Aerosystems in Wichita. Those fuselages are delivered to Boeing. It may well be that the door itself is at fault. It may well be that the fuselage had a weakness. I mean, these doors like this have been fitted to Boeing 737s for decades and have conducted millions and millions of flights without an incident. So it's not a design flaw, otherwise it would have shown up decades ago. It would certainly be a production flaw or a part flaw, and they would also need to look at aircraft that were built at the same time, using the same parts. And with aviation, there is the most amazing tracking systems for all parts, and so you can trace a part all the way back to the raw material from which it's manufactured to see if the same flaw exists in other components. So it's a wonderful tracking system, and I think that the NTSB and Boeing will work very, very quickly to resolve this issue.
An amazing tracking system, but then, you've got, a cockpit voice recorder that was completely overwritten. I mean, does that happen?
Look, it does. These cockpit voice recorders are on a loop, and typically you only get the last 30 minutes to an hour. Because they continually overwrite, and the rationale is that in an accident, what we need is the last 15 or 20 minutes of the cockpit conversation. So that's the premise. But what they do have is the flight data recorder, which records all the parameters, and that will be obviously available. But I mean, the cockpit conversation here will really simply be the pilots discussing the fact they've got a problem and getting down to 10,000 feet as quickly as possible so the passengers can breathe properly, and then the flight back to Portland. There wouldn't be a lot to gain from the cockpit voice recorder in this case. It's more about the structural issue with this door and what part failed to cause this accident.
Geoffrey Thomas in Perth, Australia. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.